There is a quiet fear that lives beneath many prayers, the fear of being fully seen, not by people, but by God. You worship, you believe, you speak His name with reverence, and yet part of you trembles at the thought that nothing inside you is truly hidden. Hebrews says that nothing in all creation is concealed from His sight, that everything is laid bare before the eyes of Him to whom we must give account, and that truth can feel comforting or terrifying, depending on what you are trying to hide. Like Adam after the fall, you did not stop believing in God. You simply started hiding from Him, covering yourself, avoiding His presence. Not because He changed, but because shame entered your awareness. You still pray, but carefully. You still come close, but guarded. Afraid that if God really looks, He will see what you've been trying not to face yourself. Adam did not run because God became harsh. He ran because innocence was gone and awareness took its place. The sound of God walking in the garden did not change, but Adam's heart did, for the first time. Being seen felt dangerous, exposure felt like loss, and hiding felt safer than honesty. This is where many believers live quietly today, not rejecting God, not abandoning faith, but managing proximity, staying close enough to receive blessing, yet distant enough to avoid inspection. Hebrews does not say God sees to punish. It says He sees because nothing can remain divided before Him. Soul and spirit, thoughts and intentions, all laid open, not to humiliate, but to bring truth into the light. And still, the heart whispers, if He sees everything, what will He do with what I'm trying to hide? What we fear most is not that God sees our actions, it is that He sees our intentions, the motives beneath the words, the thoughts beneath the prayers. Hebrews says that the Word of God penetrates, dividing soul and spirit, judging the thoughts and attitudes of the heart. And that kind of seeing feels invasive when shame is present, because shame tells us that exposure equals rejection. Adam hid because he believed that once God saw him clearly, he would be undone, that love would turn into punishment, that being known would mean being cast away. And so hiding felt like protection, even though it was slowly cutting him off from the very presence that sustained him. This same fear still lives in the human heart. The fear that if God truly looks, He will not understand, He will not be gentle, He will not stay. And so we cover ourselves with silence, with distraction, with spiritual language, hoping to remain unseen, even by the one who already knows. But Hebrews reveals something shame refuses to believe. The one who sees everything is also the one before whom we are invited to draw near, not away. Adam hid among the trees, but God came walking toward him, asking questions not to gather information, but to open a door. Where are you? Not because God was unaware, but because Adam was lost within his hiding. Divine exposure is not about humiliation, it is about invitation. God does not uncover to crush, He uncovers to heal. Yet when guilt lives in the heart, light feels threatening, truth feels dangerous, and grace feels too good to trust. So the soul stays guarded, fearing that being fully seen will cost too much, unaware that hiding is what is costing peace, intimacy, and rest. This is the moment where hiding grows tired, where the soul realizes that concealment has not brought safety, only distance. Hebrews does not end with exposure. It leads into invitation, because the God before whom everything is laid bare is the same God who calls us to approach with confidence, not because we are clean, but because He is merciful. Like Adam, you are being asked a gentle question, not to accuse you, but to locate you. Where are you? This is not a demand to uncover yourself alone. It is an invitation to step out of the shadows with God present, to let what you fear him seeing become the very place his grace meets you. So breathe, loosen your grip on what you've been hiding, and allow the God who already sees to meet you, not with rejection, but with covering, as we begin to pray. Most holy and eternal God, before whom no shadow can hide and no silence can deceive, I come trembling yet drawn, fully aware that your eyes pierce deeper than my words, deeper than my worship, deeper than the thoughts I barely admit even to myself. Your word declares that nothing in all creation is hidden from your sight, that everything is exposed and laid bare before you. And this truth awakens both awe and fear within me. I am not afraid because you see evil, but because you see me. You see beyond my posture of faith, beyond my controlled prayers, beyond the calm exterior I present to others. You see my restless mind, my divided heart, the thoughts that rise uninvited and contradict what I love and believe. And in this holy exposure, O God, I feel the same ancient stirring Adam felt in the garden, the sudden awareness, the inner alarm, the instinct to withdraw when innocence feels lost. As your presence draws near, my soul stands at the edge of a question that still echoes through time. Will I hide from you, or will I remain before you, fully seen? Lord, I confess that the fear is not of your holiness alone, but of what your holiness reveals within me, because when I sense you near, my first impulse is not always worship. It is awareness. Awareness of thoughts I did not invite, impulses I did not choose, contradictions that live between what I confess with my mouth and what passes through my mind. Like Adam, I suddenly realize I am exposed, not naked in body, but in conscience, and I feel the urge to cover myself with explanations, with spiritual language, with silence. I tell myself that if I think the right thoughts, pray the right way, control my mind enough, then I can stand before you without shame. Yet the more I try to manage my inner world, the more exhausted I become, because my mind resists control, and my heart grows tired from hiding. O God, I believe in you deeply, yet I am afraid of you seeing the parts of me I don't understand, the thoughts that contradict my faith, the guilt that whispers I am failing you even when I am seeking you. And so I stand here, torn between love and fear, longing and hiding, wanting your presence, yet afraid of your gaze. Yet even in this tension, I remember that when Adam hid among the trees, you did not withdraw. You did not turn away in disgust. You did not pretend you did not see. You walked toward him, and your voice broke the silence with a question that still searches my soul. Where are you? Not because you lacked knowledge, but because you desired honesty, not to expose him for destruction, but to invite him into truth. And now I realize it is not my thoughts that separate me from you. It is my hiding. It is my silence. It is my fear of being fully known. O Lord, you already see every corner of my mind, every memory, every impulse, every internal battle I try to outrun. And still you come near, still you speak, still you call my name. This truth unsettles me. And yet it gives me hope, because if you see everything already, then hiding is pointless, and remaining before you becomes the only place where healing can begin. I confess before you, O righteous and compassionate God, that I have mistaken faith for control. I believed that real faith meant a silent mind, a disciplined thought life without interruption, a heart that never trembles under unwanted ideas. And when my mind refused to obey, I assumed something was wrong with my faith. I measured my spirituality by mental order, and when disorder appeared, shame followed. I tried harder, prayed louder, hid deeper, all while telling myself that a true believer would not struggle this way. Yet here I am, loving you sincerely, while my thoughts betray me, and I am forced to face a truth I resisted. Real faith is not the absence of inner conflict. It is the courage to bring that conflict into your presence. I am not healed by suppressing my mind, but by surrendering it. Not by winning control, but by trusting you with what I cannot manage, and in this surrender, O Lord, I feel the weight begin to shift, not because the battle is gone, but because I am no longer fighting it alone. So I stand before you now, O all-seeing God, without the fig leaves I have woven from effort and fear. I stop pretending that you do not already know. I stop rehearsing explanations before I pray. I stop hiding behind spiritual language that keeps my heart distant. You see the thoughts that frighten me, the memories that surface without warning, the impulses that feel foreign to who I am in you. And yet you do not recoil, you do not accuse, you do not abandon. Instead, you remain. And your presence tells me something my guilt never could. That being seen by you is not the end of hope, but the beginning of freedom. If you already know my inner world completely, then I no longer need to protect you from it, nor protect myself from you. I can breathe in your presence, not because I am pure in thought, but because I am honest in heart. And here, exposed yet held, my soul begins to rest. Lord, in this sacred exposure, I begin to understand what my fear distorted, that your gaze is not like mine, not impatient, not condemning, not searching for reasons to reject me. Your eyes do not scan my mind to build a case against me. They search my heart to heal what is wounded. When Hebrews declares that all things are laid bare before you, it is not a threat whispered to scare me into obedience. It is an invitation spoken to draw me into truth. You see my thoughts forming before I can stop them. You see the battles I never explain to anyone, the silent contradictions I carry into prayer, and still, you remain gentle. Still, you remain near. Still, you do not confuse temptation with desire, nor struggle with rebellion. You know the difference between a thought that passes through me and a heart that belongs to you. And in this knowing, O faithful God, my fear slowly loosens its grip, because I realize that being fully known by you does not disqualify me, it anchors me. I bring to you now, O gracious and patient God, the thoughts I am ashamed to name, the ones I push away the moment they appear, the ones that make me question my sincerity, my purity, my devotion. I bring the guilt that follows them, the voice that accuses me day and night, telling me I am deceiving myself, that I am unworthy to pray, unfit to worship, unclean to stand before you. I have believed that voice for too long, and it has taught me to hide instead of hope. But today, in your presence, I place these thoughts at your feet, not as confessions of desire, but as cries for mercy. I ask you to separate in me what fear has tangled, to show me that a thought is not my identity, that a battle is not a betrayal, that weakness confessed is not faith denied. And as I surrender this inner chaos to you, I feel a quiet shift. The accusing voice grows faint, and your truth begins to speak louder. Now, O merciful and faithful God, teach my heart what my fear never allowed it to learn, that you are not asking me to cleanse my mind before I come to you, but to come to you so my mind may be healed. I see now that Adam did not lose you because he was seen. He lost peace because he hid, and I no longer want to live divided, loving you on the surface while running from you within. I surrender the belief that I must first fix myself to be near you. I release the burden of mental perfection, the exhausting demand to monitor every thought as proof of devotion. Instead, I offer you my mind as it is, fragile, noisy, inconsistent, trusting that your spirit knows how to dwell even here. And as I remain before you, uncovered yet unafraid, hope rises quietly, telling me that your presence is not reserved for the flawless, but for the honest. So I choose to remain, O ever-present God, not because my mind is calm, but because my trust is growing. I no longer measure your nearness by the silence of my thoughts, but by the steadiness of your love. I stay when fear tells me to withdraw. I stay when guilt urges me to disappear. I stay when my mind feels like evidence against me, because I am learning that faith is not proven by inner peace, but by persistence in your presence. Even when my thoughts contradict my beliefs, my heart still turns toward you, and that turning matters. Teach me to distinguish between the noise of my mind and the direction of my soul, to see that I can be unsettled and faithful at the same time, wounded and devoted, struggling and sincere. Here, in this staying, I sense a deeper healing, not the removal of every battle, but the assurance that none of them separates me from you. O holy and unchanging God, I accept that you see me completely, every thought, every fear, every contradiction, and still you call me yours. I rest in the truth that my salvation is not sustained by mental clarity, but by your faithfulness, not by my ability to manage what passes through me, but by your grace that holds me when I cannot hold myself. Let this be the place where hiding ends forever, where fear no longer defines my relationship with you, where being fully known becomes my refuge instead of my terror. I remain before you now, not perfected, but present, not fearless, but trusting, not controlled, but surrendered. And in this surrender, I find hope, because the God who sees all is the same God who redeems all, and I am safe, fully seen, fully loved, and forever held in you. Amen.